Welcome to Soul Velocity. Today we're diving deep into a topic that might just be the most underrated superpower in your life. The title is Consistency, Your Secret Weapon. And I've broken this journey down into 10 powerful parts, each one designed to anchor your mindset, stretch your habits, and transform your results. So buckle up. Let's begin with part one, the truth about consistency. Why most people never unlock it. Let's cut through the noise. Everybody talks about success. Everybody wants the secret, the formula, the hack, but few are willing to face the truth, the real, raw, unpolished truth. Consistency beats talent, it beats luck, it beats brilliance. If you ain't consistent, you're building castles on sand. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you only show up when you feel good, you won't finish strong. You can have the biggest dream in your city, but if you don't touch it every single day, it will die before it's born. Steve Harvey once said, "I'm not the funniest, I'm not the most educated. I'm just the one that refused to quit." That's the difference. He didn't rise because he had a better punchline. He rose because he showed up when it was painful, when it was embarrassing, when no one clapped, when he was broke, when he was doubted. That's consistency. You see, most people don't fail because they're not good enough. They fail because they stop. They stop when it's inconvenient. They stop when it gets boring. They stop when it no longer feels magical. But let me tell you something straight. If you only move when you feel like it, your dreams will always stay a fantasy. Consistency isn't sexy. It's not viral. It's not glamorous. It's 5 a.m. alarms. It's reading when your eyes burn. It's going to the gym when nobody's watching. It's writing, even when the words feel ugly. And yet, that's where the greatness is, buried in the dull, hidden in the habit, wrapped inside the rhythm. You want to change your life? Stop trying to change everything. Just commit to showing up over and over and over. Let your discipline outwork your doubt. Because here's what most people don't understand. Consistency is louder than motivation. Motivation fades, feelings lie, hype disappears. But consistency, that's commitment in motion. Steve Harvey didn't become Steve Harvey overnight. He stacked moments, he stacked failures, he stacked faith, he stacked routines. And eventually that stack became a stage. So here's my challenge to you in this first part. Don't try to be amazing. Try to be consistent every day, every season, especially when nobody's clapping, because that's where legacies are built. Say it with me. I'm not waiting to feel ready. I'm building rhythm. I'm choosing consistency, even when I don't feel like it. This isn't motivation, it's movement. This isn't inspiration, it's identity. Welcome to the war room of growth. Welcome to Soul Velocity. Part two, how to build a consistent system that works even on hard days. Consistency isn't about willpower, it's about systems. You see, we give way too much credit to feeling motivated and not enough credit to the structure that keeps us going when motivation's gone. Because guess what? There will be days when you don't want to get out of bed. There will be days when the results feel invisible. There will be days when it feels like nobody cares. And on those days, you don't need motivation. You need a system that holds you up. Let me say it like Steve Harvey would. If your dream depends on how you feel every morning, it ain't a dream, it's a wish. And wishes don't build legacies, systems do. So let's build yours. The first key to a consistency system, simplicity. Make your daily actions so simple, so repeatable, that there's no room for excuse. Don't start with, "I'm gonna write a book in 30 days. Start with, "I write 200 words every morning before I check my phone." Second key, environment. You can't grow in soil that poisons you. Look around. Your space, your habits, your people. Do they feed your focus or feed your fear? Do they push you or pacify you? Do they light you up or drain you dry? Steve Harvey surrounded himself with the right people, not the loudest. People who reminded him of his calling. People who told him, "You got more in you." Third key, consistency is often about linking a new habit to something that's already happening. It's not when I feel like it, it's right after I brush my teeth, I pray. It's when I sit at my desk, I write. It's before I eat, I breathe deep and check in with my goals. These are anchors, these are bridges, they make the habit automatic. Fourth key, permission to be imperfect. You will miss a day. That's not failure, that's human. What matters is, do you bounce back without drama? Or do you let one miss become a pattern? Say it out loud. I can miss a step without missing the whole dance. I can be imperfect and still be consistent. That's power, that's grace, that's sustainable. Fifth key, track it. If you can't measure it, you can't master it. Use a habit tracker. Use sticky notes. Use whatever works. But make your progress visible. Every check mark is a reminder. I'm becoming the kind of person who doesn't quit. This is what discipline looks like when it's done right. Not pressure, structure, not guilt. Guidance. So today I want you to stop making promises and start building patterns. Let the world chase goals. You chase rhythm. Say it with me. My consistency is designed, not forced. My habits are supported, not stressed. I build systems because systems build freedom. This is how you show up when it's hard. This is how you last when others fade. This is how Soul Velocity moves. Part 3, the silent power. What happens when you keep going after the excitement fades? There's a moment on every journey when the hype dies down, the music fades, the support quiets, and you're left with the routine, just you and your commitment. And that, my friend, is where the real growth begins. You see, the world is full of people who can sprint when it's exciting, who can commit when everyone's watching, who can promise the world with fireworks and flash. But very few can keep walking when it's quiet, when it's cold, when it's just a whisper in your heart saying, keep going. Steve Harvey didn't make it because of the big moments. He made it because he didn't stop showing up after the crowd moved on. He wrote when it wasn't funny. He performed when it wasn't packed. He showed up when it wasn't celebrated. And every time he did, he built muscle. That's what consistency does. It builds silent strength. It's easy to feel powerful when you're inspired, but true power shows up when inspiration leaves and you still move. Let's be honest, consistency is boring sometimes. It's quiet, it's repetitive, it's lonely, and that's what makes it sacred. It's in the quiet repetition where your soul expands. It's in the silence where your roots grow deep. That's why most people quit. Not because they're weak, but because they've never been taught that the quiet part is the point. Let me tell you something real. If you're in that season right now where no one's noticing, no one's clapping, no results are showing, good, that's your edge. That's where your character is forged. That's where discipline is no longer something you do, it's who you are. You want to build unshakable confidence, keep your word when no one's watching. You want to build unstoppable rhythm, keep showing up after the spark is gone. You want to build legacy, get comfortable with quiet success. Because here's the truth, the most consistent people are not chasing applause, they're chasing alignment. They're not asking, how do I feel? They're asking, who am I becoming? So the next time the high fades, the mood shifts, the energy drops, smile. That's your cue, that's your test, that's where you separate. Say it with me, I do not need hype to be great. I show up when it's hard, I lead when it's quiet, I grow when it's bored. Because this isn't about impressing others. This is about honoring your vision. This is about living so true to your purpose that even silence feels holy. Welcome to the grind that nobody glamorizes. Welcome to the greatness that consistency builds. Part 4, consistency versus perfection. Why trying to be perfect is what's holding you back. Let me free you right now. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. Somewhere along the line, we got it twisted. We started believing that unless it's flawless, it's not worth it. That if it's not Instagram polished or Pinterest approved, it doesn't count. But that's a lie. And worse, that lie is robbing you of the life you're meant to live. You know, it kills more dreams than failure. Perfectionism. Perfection makes you wait for the right time. Perfection makes you edit instead of execute. Perfection keeps you overthinking instead of starting. But consistency sets you free. Steve Harvey didn't wait until every joke was perfect. He delivered it, he refined it, he learned in real time. His greatness didn't come from flawlessness, it came from faithfulness. When you're consistent, you get better. When you're consistent, you grow. When you're consistent, you learn what works, and more importantly, what doesn't. Perfection makes you play defense. Consistency makes you play offense. So let me ask you, what are you delaying in the name of perfection? What message is sitting inside your heart that you haven't shared because it's not ready? What project have you shelved because you're not good enough yet? What version of you is waiting for permission to be real? Here's the truth. Nobody started perfect. Nobody succeeded without stumbles. Nobody became great by waiting to be flawless. Steve Harvey stumbled. Steve Harvey bombed. Steve Harvey got booed, but he kept going. He kept delivering, and the world caught up to his consistency. The world won't clap for your hidden perfection. It claps for your public progress. Let go of the need to get it all right. Replace it with the decision to get it done again and again. Say it with me. I choose progress over perfection. I trade pressure for presence. I let go of flawless so I can grow fearless. Your consistency is more valuable than your polish. Your rhythm is more impactful than your perfection. Stop aiming for the perfect day. Aim for a powerful one that moves the needle, even just an inch. Soul velocity isn't about being impressive. It's about being in motion. And motion beats magic every single time. Part 5, how to stay consistent when you're not seeing results yet. Let's get painfully honest for a second. The hardest part of consistency isn't the work. It's doing the work without applause. It's showing up when you've been showing up and still nothing seems to be moving. The followers aren't growing. The money's not increasing. The scale ain't budging. The inbox is quiet. The feedback is silent. And that silence is what breaks most people. But I need you to hear me loud and clear. Lack of visible results doesn't mean you're not growing. It means you're planting roots. And roots don't shout. They don't flash, but without them, nothing stands. Steve Harvey didn't get results overnight. He worked broke. He performed in empty rooms. He heard no more times than most people hear their own name. But guess what? He stayed the course. He showed up like success was watching, even when it wasn't. Because Steve knew something most people never learn. The results come to those who outlast the doubt. Consistency is a long game. It's compounding, it's interest, it's investment. And the best investments, they take time before they show up in public. Let me put it like this. When you're lifting weights, the first reps don't show up on your body, but they're not wasted. They're preparing your strength. They're shaping your foundation. It's the same with your habits, your mindset, your mission. You don't get the breakthrough by waiting. You get it by working through the silence. Say it with me. I do not measure success by immediate feedback. I measure it by my faithfulness. You want to stand out in this world. Be the one who doesn't flinch when the results stall. Be the one who keeps moving when no one's cheering. Be the one who doesn't wait for proof, but becomes the proof. That's what soul velocity is. We don't chase applause, we chase alignment. You're building something big, and big things take time to settle, stretch and strengthen. But when they rise strong. So today, keep going. Even if it's invisible, even if it's thankless, even if it's quiet, because that silence isn't your failure, it's your preparation. Part 6, the myth of motivation, why discipline will always win in the end. Let me tear down a myth that's stealing your future. Motivation is not the answer. I know it sounds good. I know it feels right. I know we chase that viral clip, that quote, that pump-up song, thinking it's gonna carry us through. But let me tell you, it won't, because motivation is a visitor. It shows up when it wants, and it leaves just as fast. Discipline moves in. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care how you feel. It shows up and says, let's go. Steve Harvey didn't get to where he is because he was always motivated. He got there because he was disciplined, because he got up and got to work. Even when his body was tired, his spirit was low, and his situation looked bleak. That's the truth. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. If your success is built on motivation, it will collapse when the spark fades. But if it's built on discipline, it will keep climbing, even through the fall. The world will try to sell you hype, but soul velocity, we build habits. We don't wait to feel ready. We train to move anyway. Discipline is what you fall back on when your emotions betray you. It's the commitment you made on the days when you believe, showing up on the days when you don't. Here's what I want you to do. Stop relying on the mood. Build your moves. Set your schedule like it's sacred. Guard your time like your legacy depends on it, because it does. Say it with me. I don't chase hype. I walk in discipline. I don't rely on moods. I move with meaning. Let motivation come and go, but let discipline live in you. When others stop, you'll continue. When others fade, you'll sharpen. When others question, you'll stand firm, because while they were waiting to feel something, you were building something. You were building something. That's the soul velocity way. That's Steve Harvey 5. Part 7, the daily reset. How to keep showing up without burning out. Consistency doesn't mean you never rest. It means you never quit. And let's be real, burnout is real. You can only grind so long before your body, your spirit, your creativity starts tapping out. But here's the key. You don't beat burnout with more hustle. You beat burnout with rhythm. You need a daily reset, not once a month, every day. You want to stay consistent for the long haul? Then you better learn to reset fast. You better learn how to close the page, breathe deep, and start tomorrow fresh, not dragging yesterday's weight. Steve Harvey didn't rise because he never got tired. He rose because he knew how to rest without quitting. He learned to take a knee, but never walk off the field. He learned how to unplug without abandoning the mission. Here's the truth. Consistency is not about pushing until you break. It's about building systems of renewal. So what does a daily reset look like? 1 point, shut down with intention. Don't just collapse into your bed. Reflect, write, pray. Empty the day so you don't carry it into tomorrow. 2, start with stillness. Before the noise, before the scroll, before the demands, be still. Own your first 10 minutes. Center yourself. 3, recommit daily. You don't need to feel like it. Just say it. Today I show up. Today I align. Today I move. This is how you keep showing up, even after hard days. This is how Steve Harvey still inspires millions, because he learned to recover like a pro. You can't carry your purpose if you never set down your pressure. Say it with me. I am consistent because I recover well. I reset daily. I renew with intention. I move with clarity. This isn't about perfect energy. It's about protected energy. Your fuel matters. Your rest matters. Your silence matters. So if today was rough, breathe. Reset, walk into tomorrow clean, because consistency is a rhythm, not a race. Part 8, consistency and character, showing up as the same person on and off stage. Let's talk about real consistency, not just in your habits, not just in your hustle, but in your character. Because the most dangerous thing in the world isn't failure, it's false success. It's looking like a leader in public while being lost in private. It's showing up polished for the crowd, but crumbling in the quiet. And consistency, real consistency, it kills that gap. Steve Harvey is the same man backstage that he is on the mic. Why? Because he chose integrity over image. He chose alignment over applause. He built his inner world to match his outer one. That's what makes a legacy, character consistency. Let me ask you, who are you when nobody's watching? Do you honor your word when there's no reward? Do you keep your values when the room changes? Do you act with integrity when nobody claps? That's the kind of consistency the world doesn't teach, but soul velocity demands. We're not just building discipline in our calendars, we're building discipline in our conduct. When your character is consistent, your confidence rises, your relationships deepen, your mind rests easy, your platform becomes real. You don't need to perform, you just need to be solid. Character consistency is what creates inner peace. It's what gives you power in hard moments. It's what allows you to walk into any room and not change your posture because you're already whole. And let me tell you something powerful. If the inside you is stronger than the outside pressure, you're unstoppable. So today, don't just ask, am I working hard? Ask, am I living aligned? Say it with me. I show up the same on stage and off. My public self and private self walk in agreement. I live with honor and I move with truth. That's how you build trust. That's how you build peace. That's how you build unshakable consistency. Steve Harvey doesn't just speak well, he lives well. That's why his voice carries weight. And that's what your life can do too. Consistency and character is the highest form of power, and it's yours to choose every single day. Part 9, when discipline feels heavy, turning hard days into fuel. Let's be real, discipline isn't always a badge of honor. Sometimes it feels like a burden. You wake up and don't want to move. The routine feels dull, the goal feels far. You question the point, and in that moment, you're not lazy, you're human. Steve Harvey had those days. Days when he wanted to quit, days when the struggle felt louder than the vision. But instead of breaking, he converted it into fuel. That's what we're here to learn in part 9. How to take those heavy days and use them, not lose them. Because discipline isn't just what you do when you feel good. It's what you do with your struggle. So here's the play. 1, acknowledge the weight. Stop pretending you're fine when you're not. You can't transform what you won't name. Call it out. Today feels heavy. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. 2, give it purpose. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this tension? Let pain become a professor. Let resistance reveal where your growth is. Don't run from the pressure. Study. 3, shift the question. Don't ask, how do I escape this? Ask, how do I grow from this? That's how you stay in motion, even when it's hard. 4, shrink the target. On tough days, don't try to conquer everything. Just conquer the next step. Read the next page. Do the next rep. Send the next message. Let the micro win carry you. 5, let your why speak louder than your wariness. Why did you start? Who are you doing this for? What would happen if you quit? Let those questions burn hotter than your fatigue. Say it with me. I turn hard days into high power. I don't break. I bend. I don't pause. I push. This is the emotional strength that most people never develop. This is what separates driven from drifting. Because your dream doesn't just need hustle. It needs heart. And that heart is tested most not in victory, but in resistance. So when discipline feels heavy, don't stop. Lean in. That weight is your next level being born. Steve Harvey didn't just rise through favor, he rose through friction. And so will you. Part 10, the identity shift when consistency becomes who you are. This is it, the final part. But make no mistake, this ain't the end of a message. This is the beginning of your transformation. Because after all the habits, all the effort, all the quiet wins and hard days, something amazing starts to happen. Consistency stops being something you do. It becomes who you are. You wake up and it's no longer a decision, it's your default. You show up not to prove, not to impress, but because it's in your bones now. Steve Harvey didn't just build discipline, he became it. He doesn't show up strong because of hype. He shows up strong because it's his identity. He's consistent because it's coded into his mindset. That's where we're going. You've been building a rhythm. Now it's time to anchor that rhythm into your identity. Let me tell you something profound. You don't rise by doing what disciplined people do. You rise by believing you're already one of them, because identity drives action. When you see yourself as inconsistent, you'll find ways to sabotage your streak. But when you see yourself as steady, faithful, reliable, your choices follow suit. So here's what we do now. 1, declare it out loud. Say it daily. I'm consistent. I'm disciplined. I'm unstoppable. Your brain will start believing what your mouth repeats. 2, reinforce it in private. Even when nobody's watching, move like someone who never quits. Stack the private wins. They become public power. 3, teach it. Nothing cements identity like giving it away. Show others the way. Be the example. Lead by rhythm, not just results. 4, expect resistance. There will still be storms, but now you're different. You don't panic. You pivot. You don't crumble. You climb. Because consistency isn't just a discipline anymore. It's your nature. Say it with me one final time. I am consistency. I am rhythm. I am legacy. This is soul velocity. This is Steve Harvey Fire. This is who you've become. Now go live it daily, deeply, relentlessly. And remember, your discipline decides your destiny. This ain't just about motivation. This is about becoming who you were born to be. So keep building, keep showing up, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you and keep rising.